This is breaking news from 7 Eyewitness News. A celebrated longtime Buffalo Bills player's career likely over. Good afternoon. We have learned Bills center Eric Wood, who played every snap of every game this season, has suffered a neck injury, and according to multiple reports, it's going to end his 9-year career. So joining us now live on the phone from Alabama is 7 Eyewitness Sports Director Joe Buscaglia. Joe, what can you tell us about what we know right now?
Yeah, and it is a very unfortunate day for Eric Wood, and multiple league sources have confirmed to me that Wood has indeed sustained a serious injury, and multiple reports say that it's a degenerative thing with his neck, and that has what facilitated his retirement from the Buffalo Bills. So it's a very unfortunate thing for the Bills as they're going through their off season and trying to prepare for what they're going to do in 2018. But Eric Wood, who was very much a focal point of that locker room for years on end, and especially this one, he will certainly be missed by his teammates as one of the leaders of the team.
Yeah, a focal point in the locker room and also a fan favorite. He's just done so much for our Western New York community. Joe, let me ask you now, what does this mean for the Bills as a whole as they move forward? Will they be looking for a new center?
Well, they do have an option they have Ryan Groy on their team already. That was a backup all year for them. He has done some things at center before, and just to curtail that for a second, Eric Wood actually just tweeted right now that, quote, "I was diagnosed with a neck injury as part of my season-ending physical with the Bills. After consultation with Dr. Cappuccino and other physicians, I was informed that I was no longer cleared to play football, even with surgery or further treatment." Eric Wood went on to say, "I appreciate and thank everyone for their thoughts, concerns, and prayers, and I will shed more light on the situation at a press conference on Monday at the team facility." So Wood has confirmed the news. He is retiring from the NFL, and he will no longer be a member of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, we are absolutely going to miss seeing him on the field. Again, just a fan favorite, someone who's done so much for Western New York. Joe, I know you've worked with him before. Just talk a little bit about what he's meant to our community. We're looking at that tweet right now.
I mean, he is someone that has done a lot of work throughout the community, and I mean, going through and his little sister going through the condition and what she is, and that's facilitated a lot of the things that he's done for children in the Buffalo area, and those are the stories you don't hear a lot about from these players because it's mostly focused on everything that they do on the field. But Wood, it was a good egg, and he certainly welcomed Buffalo into his heart. He always loved it here. He always wanted to end that playoff drought. I mean, he's just one that really truly lived and breathed through the Buffalo Bills organization. So he was definitely a good person, one of the go-to people in the locker room to talk to each time you were in there. So by all means, I mean, just a good guy, and unfortunate luck for him, but good that they caught it when they did, so that way he doesn't have to go through something more serious.
Absolutely. All right, Joe B. will, of course, continue to follow this. Joe's joining us, of course, from Alabama at the Senior Bowl. Thank you. We're going to have the latest on this breaking news on our website and our mobile app, and, of course, you'll get much more tonight on 7 Eyewitness News at 5. But there's more breaking news now. The athletic director of Michigan State University now says he's stepping down. This comes 2 days after the university president stepped down amid the outcry over how the school handled allegations against disgraced Dr. Larry Nassar. And we'll have more on Nassar coming up later in our newscast. And this is all new this noon. No jail time for a former vice president of UB who admitted to pocketing more than $300,000 from students and taxpayers. A judge could have sentenced Dennis Black to up to 15 years in state prison after he pleaded guilty to stealing more than $300,000. But as 7 Eyewitness News reporter Twila Nugent tells us, the judge didn't think prison was necessary.
UB Vice President Dennis Black apologized for stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from the University at Buffalo. He said today in court he knew he was wrong. Judge John Michalski says he thinks Black deserves local county jail time for his crime, but that it wasn't an option for sentencing under penal code. Michalski said state prison wasn't necessary, so instead, Michalski opted to sentence Black to 5 years of probation and 2,500 hours of community service. Black's attorney asked for 5 years of probation and got it.
He's very grateful to the court for a second chance. He's a relatively young man, is 62, and has a lot of time to atone for what he's done and try and make better with his community. He will do that. I'm confident he will do that. And we will do our best to try and rebuild the relationships that Dennis has broken.
Black paid full restitution to the University at Buffalo and the New York State Tax Department. According to a 7 Eyewitness News investigation, Black is still going to receive his entire pension. Reporting from the Erie County Courthouse, I'm Twilon Nugent, 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Twilon, thank you very much. Turning now to the weather with a live look over downtown Buffalo, courtesy, of course, of Skywatch 7. Getting warmer by the minute, but just how long is it going to last? Let's check in with 7 First Alert meteorologist Autumn Lewandowski.
It's still a little cool in the shade, I must admit, Katie. Hands are staying inside the jacket at this point. But you know what? We do have plenty of sunshine to go around for the rest of the afternoon. So if you are maybe at work till 5 or 6, you're going to get a couple hours of daylight there. Then we're still going to be mild as we head into the overnight. So it's going to feel about 40 degrees for the next 24 hours or so. Southerly winds right around 12 miles an hour. That's helping us out for this morning. And again, we have milky skies out there right now. Some of those high, thin cirrus clouds are building through. And as you look at Skycast through the rest of the day, that's what's going to be featured. A southerly wind, temperatures hovering right around 40. Like I mentioned, we're not moving much as we go throughout the overnight as well. We're going to stay quite mild as we move through the overnight period. Notice the winds, though. They switch to southwesterly, and we'll start to see them begin to gust. So we'll have a breezy overnight and then a windy beginning to our Saturday. And unfortunately, the winds stay with us, and so do those rain showers that you see right around 9 a.m. We'll bring you up to date on when we'll see the rain come to an end, and then, of course, the cool down. It's coming up from the inside in just a bit.
All right, Autumn, thank you. Hundreds of people gathered last night honoring the victims of a school shooting in Kentucky. 2 teens were killed in that shooting, 18 others hurt when police say it was a 15-year-old student who opened fire. And here in Western New York, 2 local school districts holding active shooter training exercises today. A number of police agencies and first responders took part in one this morning at Lewiston Porter schools, including state troopers, Niagara County Sheriff's deputies, and the Lewiston Police Department.
We work together every single day, so it's imperative that we train together for a mass shooting like this or an active shooter drill. We want to be prepared in this county, and that's why these agencies all work together to make sure that we're prepared when something like that hopefully doesn't happen, but if it does happen.
And Hamburg also hosting a drill at the high school that takes place this afternoon. She led the Buffalo Zoo for 16 years, and now she's getting a center named after her. State and local leaders gathered at the zoo today to announce the new Amphibian and Reptile Center will be named after longtime zoo president Donna Fernandez. She retired from her role last June. Assemblyman Sean Ryan also announced the state is contributing $300,000 toward the construction of this $3.7 million center. And still to come on 7 Eyewitness News at noon, the USA Gymnastics Board faced with an ultimatum following the sentencing of disgraced Dr. Larry Nassar. Plus, a Ferrari mix-up has one valet company being sued. What happened after they gave the keys to a $300,000 car to the wrong guy?
Join us as we remember the cast and crew of the SS Minnow and sail into the last day of our tasty tribute to retro TV shows.
You're watching 7 Eyewitness News with Keith Radford and 7 First Alert meteorologist Autumn Lewandowski.
Welcome back. Fallout deepening today following this week's sentencing of disgraced Olympic doctor Larry Nassar. The head of the U.S. Olympic Committee is giving the USA Gymnastics Board until the end of the month to resign or face a steep punishment. ABC's Elizabeth Herr reports.
New fallout from the Larry Nassar sexual abuse scandal rocking USA Gymnastics.
Show of hands, how many of you think justice still needs to be done?
2020 anchor Elizabeth Vargas sitting down with 19 of Nassar's accusers, all saying the investigation into Nassar's crimes should not stop with him.
They've already stripped the Karolyi Ranch of any status as a training center. Is that enough?
They should have done that a long time ago.
Authorities confirming to ABC News there is an active investigation of the famed Karolyi Ranch run by husband and wife training team of Bella and Marta Karolyi.
If they were aware and absolutely knew or had reason to believe that there was criminal activity afoot on the ranch and failed to report, then yes, they could be held responsible.
At this time, the Karolyis have not been charged with any crime and have not been accused of knowing about the abuse. So far, no comment from the couple, but according to the couple's lawyers, they are at an undisclosed location, not in Houston or at their ranch. Also new this morning, the U.S. Olympic Committee announcing it is giving every member of the USA Gymnastics until next Wednesday to resign, or the organization will be decertified. Now, earlier this week, the chair, vice chair, and the treasurer of USA Gymnastics resigned. But again, the U.S. Olympic Committee says the rest of the board must also step down, stating the organization needs a fresh start. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
All right, well, we saw the sun shining out there when Autumn was outside. Can we expect that for the rest of the day today? How about the weekend, Autumn?
We're going to continue with it, and something that we caught a little bit earlier on Skywatch 7, watch Seneca One Tower. It's playing peekaboo, although it's just going to be boo for a while. You won't be able to see it. You know what? The sun is up. It's staying with us, and when you're in the shade, it does still feel a little bit chillier out there. We are still in the 40s. It's not actually springtime, but it's way better than zero, right? So let's talk about how we're going to plan coming into this weekend. Mild and breezy tonight, so the winds will start to pick up. We'll have some spotty showers as we get into early tomorrow. Again, we're still going to be breezy and a little bit windy, especially as we head into the afternoon, and a better shot for rain for folks as we head throughout the day on Saturday as well. As we look at 7 Super Doppler going into this afternoon, some of those high thin clouds are starting to really start to build through just from about Dunkirk up to Rochester. Otherwise, it's mostly sunny. We're going to continue this for the rest of the day. 47 will be the high around, and then just about 24 was the low earlier this morning. So we're not getting down there again. We're going to stay quite mild as we head throughout tonight as well. 40 degrees for Niagara Falls and Buffalo, 30 for Olean, 36 in Bradford. It's these southerly winds that are helping to warm up the lakeshore this morning. You can see where we have this is where the winds are coming from. And as they go down the hills, it begins to warm up. For the afternoon, continuing in the 40s. We'll stay there throughout the overnight. Notice we'll even start to rise more so as we get into early tomorrow morning, but the winds begin to increase as well. So breezy tonight, a little bit windier tomorrow, especially across the Chautauqua Ridge. And then by Saturday morning, if you're up early enough, we're dry and clear. Now past 7 a.m., the clouds thicken up for much of the area where the southern tier from Bradford to Wellsville, I-86 southward, stays sunny at this point. We'll have some spotty showers 9, 10 o'clock towards noon, and then we'll see them even more so as we make our way throughout the rest of the day, not only for Buffalo, but then it will start to filter in for the extreme southern tier as well into northern Pennsylvania. Again, continuing, maybe if you have dinner plans tomorrow, you can expect there to be some rain showers as well. As we look at the wind gusts, we can maybe tip some trash cans and get to some broken branches, especially through the southern tiers. We'll have gusts near 40 miles an hour, maybe topping 45 miles an hour, but it is still going to be a mild day. We're going to be in the mid 40s 40s for the entirety of it, although we're going to have the rain showers, and then we're going to have southwesterly winds. Again, sustained winds. This is a constant wind speed of around 20 miles an hour, and then we'll have gusts on top of that. So a rawer day than what we have out there right now. So even though it looks good, that number, it's not going to feel good with how we see everything start to change around. We're in the 30s by the time we get into Sunday, close to 40 degrees. We'll hover near there. A spotty few snow showers will be possible as we head into Sunday afternoon. We will have snow on Monday. We're closer to 32 degrees, and we're just continuing to tumble from there. 20 degrees by Tuesday, and then by the end of the week, we kind of go up to about 40, and then it says, nope, we're going back into the 20s as we head into the upcoming weekend.
All right, so we get out and enjoy a little bit of sunshine and warmer weather today.
Yeah, enjoy it now, and then, we go back to winter. That's
there you go. All right, Autumn, thanks. Straight ahead, Mr. Food has your recipe of the day, but first, a look at what's coming up on Pickler and Ben today at 3 on 7 ABC. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the latest from Wall Street this noon. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P all up. Not a bad day. All right, a Florida man who drives a fancy Ferrari, not happy. He says a hotel valet near Tampa gave the keys to his exotic car to the wrong guy. According to a police report, the guy implied the Ferrari was his, then drove away without ever showing a valet ticket. He's now charged with grand theft auto, driving while license revoked, and possession of cocaine. Well, as for the Ferrari owner, he's suing the valet company that he says let this happen. He says The short ride that other guy took in the car led to $10,000 in repairs and diminished the value of his car. Well, the weekend's here, and maybe, just maybe, you're craving some delicious meat. I'm talking steaks, burgers, sausages. If that's the case, you might want to come out tonight to the Variety Club Meat Raffle in Lancaster. I'm going to be co-hosting with my 7 Eyewitness News co-anchor Ed Dranch, but really, we just play second fiddle to Shred and Reagan from 103.3 The Edge. They're the real MCs here, and all of this money raised going to go to this year's Variety Kids Telethon coming up on March 4th. Tickets to the raffle are $7 if you get them today. That's pre-sale, $10 at the door, and doors open at 6. Let's check in now with Howard, see what's cooking in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen today.
It may have started out as a 3-hour tour, but anyone who watched Gilligan's Island back in the 60s knows that it lasted a bit longer than that. After all these years, who can forget that theme song or the fun and zany antics that took place as 7 castaways desperately tried to get off the island? To help bring back some of those memories, what do you say we whip up an easy dish that's inspired by the show and is fancy enough to have pleased Mr. and Mrs. Howell? We start off by flouring some jumbo shrimp. Once they're all coated, we dip each one in some beaten egg and then into a flavor-packed coconut breading. To give these their crispy, crunchy finish, we fry them until the shrimp is cooked through and the coconut breading is golden. These are great as is, or with our homemade creamy pineapple dipping sauce. With food this good served in a tropical setting, why would anyone want to be rescued? To get the recipe for what we call Castaway Coconut Shrimp, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where we hope you had as much fun as we did looking back at some of our favorite retro TV shows. Every one of them gave us a reason to say, ooh, it's so good. Stop fan and start eating.